Live from the Acres Broadcast Center inside East Stadium, this is the Husker Athletic Director Show with Trev Alberts. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The 1-0. Neal swings and blasts this one. Deep right field. Connor going back. It's gone. A grand slam for Kingwood Neal. And the Huskers lead 7-0. 2-0 to count. Pitch to Chick. That's lifted in the air to right. Going back is Sapiti looking up, and it is gone. Chick with a home run to lead off the game, and the Huskers have a 1-0 lead. Levitt's first one. And Glatter swings and lets a high fly ball. Left center and deep. It's gone, and we're tied. Grand slam, Glatter. We're tied at 8.
Shanneman's first pitch comes home. It's flied in the air to left. Shallow left, long run for Chick. Core Jackson lays out and makes an unbelievable catch in fair territory to take a hit and a run away from the Cougars.
1 on, 1 out for Maya Filder. First one to Maya. She swings and blasts it. Deep left center field, and it is gone. It's gone. The Huskers have taken the lead. They've come back from the dead, down 7, and take the lead in the 6th.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to our monthly sit-down with the Vice Chancellor, Director of Athletics for the University of Nebraska, Trev Alberts. A lot to get to. A lot has happened in the last 30 days since we had Trev on board with us. If you want to be a part of the program, that's certainly welcome, either with a call or a text at 402-413-2400. Good to see you. The sun is out. I see more construction, more beams popping up in our new facility every day over here.
Well, good evening, Greg. Good to be with you. And it has been some time, and it's starting to warm up. I think middle of this week we're going to get into the 70s, maybe even
About
80
time.
degrees. So it's about time. Yeah,
About
looking
time.
forward to spring.
Spring football is over. Your thoughts about the way the 15 practices went? You opened up the gates of the stadium a few weeks ago. What did you think of spring football? Well,
First of all, I can't thank our fans enough. I mean, we just continue to do things as a fan base that really are hard to even understand when you look about college football. And I think unofficially we finished third in spring football attendance, which is just Husker Nation again stepping up. We actually had a pretty good day in terms of weather. Over 50,000 people bought tickets. And I think the most important thing, it may not really make sense to a lot of fans, but just was how many great recruits we had in town. Obviously we can't talk a lot about that, but we had a lot of interest, and the football staff I thought did a really good job of bringing a lot of potential players in, potential transfer. Things are so different now in college football. It's so different from back in my day in 1993. You and I talked a little bit about this prior to the show, but back in 1992, gosh, the spring was when you got to decide. You found out who was going to play in the fall. I mean, that's what spring ball was. It was almost a month long. It was every day, full pads every day. So the NCAA rules changes and other things have certainly impacted what spring looks like. Perhaps there's some areas that we can, maybe rethink a little bit, but I think by and large, spring was really good. I went to a lot of the practices. I thought the energy was there. When you're trying to integrate so many new players and new coaches, it can be a challenge. I think Coach Frost enjoyed a little bit his new role, spent a lot of time walking around to the various stations and being really intimately involved in a lot of different levels of football than previously. When you're just the offensive coordinator, you can't really move like that. Watching Coach Bush outside with the special teams group was great, and I even got to watch Coach Bush have the punters and kickers doing some sprints and running and conditioning, and I thought, wow, this is great. So by and large, obviously there's always things you look back and probably wish you could have done differently, but I think spring was a success for the football program.
Coach Bush, they even had a day where it might have been 30, 35 degrees, and there was some sideways snow blowing. He took the specialists outside. He goes, heck, we're going to have to plan something like this. You probably love that.
That's exactly right. I'll never forget, and I hope Tommy Frazier isn't mad at me for telling this story, but I have to say it. So he was a freshman, and I think it was 92. He would have been a freshman, and one day we went outside to practice, and I mean, again, snow going sideways, the wind, it was freezing cold. Of course, he's from Bradenton, Florida, and he's got his, all of his clothes on, and he walks up to Coach Steele, and he says, "Coach Steele, you told me that when it got cold, we practiced in the Cook Pavilion." And Coach Steele said, "Tommy, that was recruiting. Now let's get on out in the field." But that's, that was Coach Osborne's philosophy, is that, you're going to have to play in these types of elements. We might as well practice in it, because it clearly is different. And so to see Bill and our football program embrace that, I think is a really good sign.
You mentioned a lot of prospective student athletes made it to town to take a look at Husker football, but you had other coaches that were down on that sideline from other sports that were taking advantage of that. Talk about the importance of that, and then also seeing a lot of your former teammates, a lot of former players come back for spring games.
Yeah, I'll get into the former players in a minute, but it's a great point, Greg. And so Husker football's impact is well beyond just the football program, obviously. And so when you're able to bring in basketball recruits or volleyball recruits or anything, you know, golf, tennis, and you bring them in and you're able to show families what this Husker family is all about, what kind of support that our programs engender, it's fascinating. It really is. And it's hard to define and explain, but then when they come to the red-white game and they recognize that this is a glorified practice, quote, celebration, if you will, of Husker football, I think it really you know, is a great signal on what kind of support we have here. As far as the former players, I mean, it was so much fun. You know, Steve Taylor did a really nice job. He worked really hard, put together a great event at the Coco Theater. Bunch of former players were there, really went off well. We're working hard on it. You know, the spring game in particular is that time when a lot of guys who don't live around here locally, they choose to come back for that. So we have guys that came back. I mean, Mike Kroll, I don't think he had been here for 20, 25 years. And so they haven't seen anything. He thinks the football stuff we have today is incredible. And I said, yeah, by the way, we're building this Go Big project over here. So it's great to see him, great to reminisce, and we need to do more of that because every time that spring game comes and the video board shows all of our former teammates that have passed away, it really reminds you that our time is short and we need to really embrace, recognize, and love all of those who've impacted Husker football over the years.
And once a Husker, always a Husker, right? It doesn't matter if you played for Coach Devaney or Coach Solich or Coach Pelini, whoever it was.
You know, I heard that from a couple of former Huskers who said, you know, I happen to play in an era with perhaps a coach who wasn't as well received for whatever reason. Maybe the time was shorter, and we just kind of feel a little disconnected, like we're not part of. And let me tell you something, from our perspective, from my perspective in particular, you played football for the Huskers. I don't care when you played, who you played for, you're a member of the family, and we're interested in you, and we're going to do the best that we can to embrace you.
Text question for you, Trev. It's from John in Omaha. It says, thanks for all you do. Just one criticism, that is the spring game. For many people, it's the only chance they get to see football inside Memorial Stadium. This year's format was extremely boring, kind of a letdown for parents or grandparents who want to give their son or daughter the first taste of Nebraska football. I understand the coach has reasons, but the fans support this program. I think it needs to be more real football in the spring game.
Yeah, John, it's a great text, and I understand, and I appreciate that feedback. And I certainly don't disagree with any or all of the feedback. And I think it was the perfect sort of storm in a, quote, negative way, which might have led to a little bit of the thinking. You know, we have had a lot of injuries, there's no doubt about it, a lot of our frontline players, and real concern about that. You combine that with a bunch of new coaches, you combine that with a bunch of new players, and you combine that with an opening trip to Ireland in a very important game, perhaps there's a little perspective to be learned about why there was some real concern and care on the part of our coaches. But I do understand and take seriously anytime we have an event inside Memorial Stadium that has to be representative of the expectation of our fans. And I understand that as well. I've had a lot of that feedback that, you know, there's a lot of families that don't get to go to regular season games. And the spring game, because from a price perspective, is when they can bring their family and really celebrate. And so it's something that, you know, I know is a message that has been sent and perhaps received. And so we'll do the best we can to make sure that the spring game is representative of what our fans expect.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Having said that, let's go to the phone. Down in Missouri, Frank, you're up with Trev Alberts.
Yeah, Trev, I was wondering with, you know, the new complex being built, all the trophies in the Tom Osborne and Nancy Center, are they going to be put in the new addition?
Yeah, great question. So, yes, we're working through all of how and what transfers over to the Go Big project. One of the beautiful pieces of that new project is there's going to be a huge component that's open to the public year-round. It won't just be available for, you know, for game days on Saturday. So we want to bring a lot of that kind of stuff over. We want to honor our Heisman Trophy winners. We want to honor our history and legacy. So my hope is that certainly happens. There's a lot of thinking that has to go into it. There's also a lot of backfill opportunities within, you know, Memorial Stadium. So we've got some real opportunities here to really honor our former players and give fans access, and we'll work through that.
We are at the Osborne complex, because there's a lot of Big 8 trophies that aren't on display.
Right. Yeah, I think, you know, the message that I've received loud and clear is that our fans love to embrace our past history. They like to enjoy that success, you know, both athletically and academically, and others, especially, and honor great players. And so we're going to do the best that we can to make all of that available. And you know, we've had some of the most iconic coaches who've ever coached in college football were a member of our family. And so the more we can do to properly honor them, but again, all of that was made possible because of the great support of fans like you. So thank you so much for your call.
Frank, appreciate the phone call. Keep them coming, 402-413-2400. Update everybody on the go. Is it on schedule? Are you happy with the progress?
Yeah, we really are. You know, it's on schedule and it's on time, and it's supposed to be completed next summer in 23. And so if you've come by here, you can see an awful lot of steel. It's starting to take shape. Obviously, there's been a lot of inflationary pressure on pricing, those types of things, and I know our partners, you know, our general contractor and you know, Houseman and our architects are working hard. Our internal folks like John Ingram are working hard. At this point, we think we've been able to overcome some of the disruptions in terms of the construction industry that have become so prevalent across the country. Still concerned about some of that. For those who don't know, this was a $150 million project that we always intended to bond $50 million. We had to raise $100 million privately. And then because of some of these inflationary pressures and increased cost, we actually went back to the Board of Regents and increased the total price to $160 million. So our goal now is $115 million to raise. We've raised $107 million. And I just, you know, it's just remarkable to me in an era of NIL, in an era of, you know, programs that haven't won at a rate that we'd liked, in an era of post-COVID. Husker Nation have stepped up in so many positive ways and has helped us deliver $107 million of private support that isn't just going to support our football program. While that's primarily the focus, all of our student athletes are going to benefit from the Go Big project, and we're really proud of that.
One other thing before we got some more callers waiting to get at you here tonight. One of the reasons the game was played maybe earlier in April was because you wanted to change the turf because graduation, the chancellor would like to have graduation inside the stadium. How's that going? Well,
it's going well. You know, when the chancellor says I'd like to do graduation in Memorial Stadium, that's not one that I generally say, I'm sorry, Chancellor. We say yes, sir, and we'll do what we can. And so our coaches were great about, and that's also part a little bit of, and doesn't explain all the scheduling, but there was a lot of thought that had to go into how we do spring, when are our days off, how do we compress this time. You know, of course, Zach Duvall and strength and conditioning wants their time to build that strength with our players, but we needed to get that turf out of there. Literally, after the spring game, that night, half the turf was torn out. I mean, they went right to work. And so all of the new turf basically is down already. The seams aren't done. They've just cut it and it's laying down. There's a lot to do from here, but confident that'll all be done. And it really is remarkable, you know, over 9-10 years. And quite frankly, I think that turf probably should have been replaced a couple of years ago. It really needed it. But the sun had faded it so significantly. I think our fans are going to like the way the new turf looks and the way our brand and our logo pops and Tom Osborne Field. I think it'll look really nice.
Great. All right, let's head back to the phones. We're going to go to North Bend next. Jason, you're up with Trev Alberts. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm great, Jason. How are you tonight?
Doing great. You have a question. With the pandemic, public tours ended at the stadium or took a break. I was just curious when those tours would kick back off again.
Jason, those tours are coming back on, and we're going to get this before we go off the air, but I don't want to say the wrong date, so I want to confirm it. But we are, it's going to be in May. We're going to be going back. We know how important those tours are to young children, to families, and to fans across our state. So we are going to be opening that back up, and I will get that date out for you. But you can count on those tours restarting.
If there's tours for kids that would like to take them before school ends, is that a possibility?
That's what we're working on. That's what we're working on with our campus and others, and I think we're going to be able to communicate something about that very soon.
Jason, thanks for the phone call. It's like a state shrine. This place means so much to so many people. The folks have missed coming by and taking a look at it.
That's absolutely. And, you know, we've built this fan base through being accessible. And that's a really important thing. Young people at the end of games want to run around the field during the week. This has to be a place that fans feel like, I'm part of this, and I can be part of this. And by the way, there's also a rationale for it. When young people come to our campus and experience it, when they make decisions about where to go to college someday, that experience as a third and fourth grader might have an impact on them being, whether they're a student athlete or not, becoming a Husker someday, and that's important to our campus as well.
All right, we're going from North Bend to North Platte. Jim, you're up next with Trev Alberts. Good evening.
Well, even I've got 1, 2, 3 questions.
Okay.
Did that spring game get any real good recruits? Possibility. And I was wondering about Nebraska's baseball team and their basically softball team. How are they all doing? And I want to thank you for taking my call.
Okay, Jim, thank you. Your 3-part question, I'm going to do the very best I can to answer them as good as I can. First and foremost, you know, we did a lot of work at the spring game. Our coaches did a lot of work, the recruiting staff, and so I can't really go deeply into, you know, how successful that was, but we did have some potential portal young men that were on our campus. We had multiple high-level recruits for next year, and so some of that fruit may bear itself later on. But I think it was very well received. We had all of the potential recruits in the Cook Pavilion. I think our coaches staff did a great job of making sure those families felt comfortable. So we'll see where it goes. But I'm telling you that the biggest thing that happened at the spring game was not all the efforts of our coaches and recruiting staff and even administratively. It was the 54,000 fans that showed up. That's what sells recruits. When they look up and say, wow, I mean, 54,000 people came to this scrimmage. So that's an important thing. Baseball, you know, I think Coach Bolt, and I think he's going to be on here
Coming
a little bit.
after you tonight.
You know, I've really come to appreciate Coach Bolt. I love his passion. You know, baseball's gone through a rough stretch. They've had a lot of injuries, and, you know, Will, you know, told me at the start of the season that they were really focused on, thought the strength of the team this year was going to be pitching, and that's the key. Well, when all of your injuries happen in the pitching staff, the one thing that he thought was going to be a strength, now, you know, they're pretty thin. So still a team learning how to hit, and but I have 100% confidence in Will and in our baseball program. If there's any coach that I'll put my money on in making sure the culture's right and mentally tough to be able to fight through adversity, it's Will Bolt. So really proud of that. Softball, as you and I talked about, Greg, might just be one of the great stories that we've had around here in a long time. I mean, this is a team that's won 18 straight games. They're 13-0 in the Big Ten. I don't know how to explain it other than this is a team that believes in itself. This is a team that was down 8-1 to Minnesota and had every reason to say, well, at least, you know, we won the series, so I mean, Minnesota's a great team. They're probably going to win one. Well, they didn't accept that, found a way to fight back and win that game. So I got to believe we're going to be ranked when the new rankings come out. Really, really happy with Rhonda and her staff and how hard they've worked. But a fun team to watch play. There's still some games left out there at Bowlin Stadium, and as this weather continues to warm up, I'd really love for our fans to come out, pack that place. Let's set a record for the number of people who've showed up to a softball game because they're awfully fun to watch.
The D1 softball poll came out today. They are in the rank. They're ranked 21st. You might as well just mail her the Big Ten Coach of the Year. Just might as well send it off to Rhonda Revelle because she has earned what she's got. And speaking of fans, my goodness, Trev, it was cold this weekend. Baseball had really good crowds. Folks are still coming out there.
They really did. And you know, we just enjoy so much support across all of our sports from our fans. I do have a quick update. I told the last caller it's May 18th.
May 18th.
May 18th. We're back in business for tours. That's prior to the end of the school year. So reach out. Let's get as many people here as we can and support, young people and others getting a tour of our facilities.
Very good. Jim from North Platte, thanks for your 3 questions. He called us up on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400. A lot more with Trev coming up.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Attention anyone standing near a mud puddle. Trucks and Bucks is back, so take cover. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch game is roaring down the road again. And this year we're giving away 8 blue 2022 Ford F-150 XLT Super Crew Flex Fuel trucks. So buy a $2 Trucks and Bucks ticket today. You could win a new Ford F-150 and make a real splash in your neighborhood. Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Valley 365 is here, and the time is now to take your farming technology full circle. Valley 365 is the ultimate command center, the new single sign-on platform that brings together our tried and true technology and streamlines your entire operation. Combining the best features of AgSense, Valley Scheduling, Valley VRI, and Valley Insights, Valley 365 is the next-level solution for connected crop management. Leverage your data, make the most of your time, and own your tomorrow. Contact your Valley dealer today.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
You always dreamed of owning your own farm. Now you're living your dream, and it's time to pick the tractor that makes it all come together. Massey Ferguson has reinvented what compact and utility tractors can be and redefined what they do, making them easier to operate, more comfortable to drive, more versatile than ever. Massey Ferguson gives Nebraska farmers the power and performance to win in the field. Manzer Equipment in Osmond, Nebraska, your full-time Massey Ferguson dealer. Proud supporters of the Huskers and Nebraska farmers since 1975.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul, not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections, when it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/prioritycare.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? They're even longer term than the silent treatment your mom gave you after she found out you backed over her peony bushes with the riding lawnmower. Even though it could have happened to anyone. Oof, talk about long-term.
Hi, it's Boyd Minry from Dakota Mac. Give me a call at 402-463-4637 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
Radio Network Broadcast Center. It's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. It is our monthly athletic director show. Trev Alberts here till the top of the hour. 402-413-2400, the number to dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Question about future scheduling in the conference. I know you probably have meetings about that. I know they're talking about kind of tweaking what you're going to do with the league schedule moving on down the road. You may have more information this summer, maybe on that?
Yeah, I'm hoping so, Greg. You know, we're going back to Chicago for more Big Ten meetings, May 16th and 17th. Not sure if we're going to have an update from Commissioner Warren then, but you know, all of our Big Ten regular season schedules are going to be changing, and
this year's changed a little bit.
Yeah, it already has.
The one that's coming up for the fall.
Yeah, they've changed it this year, and you know, obviously, you're trying to figure out what your television partner long term is going to look like. What's the college football playoff look like? What's the right structure? Are we going to have divisions? Are we not going to have divisions? Are we going to have some static opponents every year and then rotate the rest? So lots of different models, nothing to report. Lots of different things we're considering, but I understand the concern from fans, and it certainly isn't because the Big Ten is trying to be coy. We're working hard with all of our partners to try to figure it out and get it communicated as best we possibly can.
Very good. Another text question for you. Is there a way to contribute to the red carpet experience? I didn't see anything online. Have a great night, John.
There absolutely is a way to contribute to the red carpet experience, and Dr. Chatters would be quite pleased. I think we sent that out during the course of the year, so it should be on our website. If it's not, I'll get all that information out as well, certainly through the Husker, you know, Athletic Fund and Maddie Fowler and our team over in development, but we have it all set up that you can donate to it. It's a great program. We're continuing to expand it. Dr. Chatters and the rest of our coaches have they've seen the success that football enjoyed with it and really want to expand it and grow it into the rest of our programs. We did it a little bit with men's and women's basketball, and so we're going to continue to grow that program because we think it's the right thing to do.
You look back at your first year, and we're still a few months away from that, making that full calendar turn. This would be one of the highlights, I think, of your first year, this red carpet experience.
Well, I think it really galvanized, I would say, beyond just the beauty of the concept. It galvanized our executive staff a little bit. So we were still getting to know each other. Mm-hmm. And I really challenged everybody in that room. You know, we had tickets to move. We wanted to protect a sellout streak. And I asked for good ideas. And no idea was off limits. And a lot of ideas came forward. And this idea that Dr. Chatters had, I thought, had a lot of merit to it. Not only did it sort of help us with what we were trying to do in terms of maintaining the sellout streak, but it really brought an awareness and attention to us in some areas that perhaps we weren't thinking. just assuming that Memorial Stadium, everybody feels like they have access to. Like you mentioned earlier, some people believe, the spring game is really the only place they have that access. And so as we've thought about and we continue to work on our, modernization plan of Memorial Stadium, the red carpet experience itself has taught us and informed some of our thinking about how we need to look at some of our seating and how we look at access. So proud of that whole project and program.
Brandon in Omaha, question for Trev. With the additions being done around the athletic department, any plans to update baseball and softball's complex?
Yeah, thank you, Brandon.
You ask that a lot.
Yeah, we do. And Haymarket Park is a tremendous park. I mean, what an environment. I really enjoyed. I hadn't really, from that perspective, early on in our baseball season, taken a look down at Memorial Stadium, and you look downtown
Beautiful.
Lincoln. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And so, our partnership with Jim Abel and the Salt Dogs has been really, really good. That whole crew down there, it's been a really good partnership over the years. And so it's 20 years. I think it's been 21 years for the Salt Dogs there. And so are there some things that we can do? Are there some things that Will Bolt needs, both in recruiting and development as we're trying to continue building our baseball team? Absolutely. So we're working hard on that. We have some donor interest, but it'll be a process, and we want to make sure that our partners at the Salt Dogs are on board with what we want to do as well.
Men's gymnastics finished up their season this past weekend, finished 4th at the NCAAs. What a good finish.
What a great finish. Had a chance to go to a match of theirs early on and continue to be just immensely impressed by what those young men can do on a floor and parallel bars and all that. But, Chuck's done a really nice job continuing to build that program and a lot of competition. So finishing 4th was a real shot in the arm for our department.
Very good. You've got a little volleyball scrimmage going on Saturday in Grand Island against the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, and in case fans are wondering, there's not a lot of tickets available.
No.
Apparently those sold relatively quickly.
8 minutes.
8 minutes, okay, yeah. Well, that's just John. It was so funny the other day. I ran into John out at Tractor Supply Company. He's got this horse, and he apparently just wants to go to Tractor Supply Company and just dream about what he could get for his horse. But we were there for different purposes. But John is, he's become a good friend and in a way a mentor in the sense that he's been through a lot. I value his opinion and leadership, and what he's done with our volleyball program is really remarkable. I'm really, really proud of it, proud of the young women, and not to put any pressure on volleyball, but he's got a team that they can compete for a national championship. So really excited about the hard work they've done.
A lot of stuff happened. Bowling wrapped up. They did not make the final weekend, but had a really good year. Your track teams are now into their outdoor seasons. Tennis and golf are kind of coming down the stretch as well. So there's a lot happening on the calendar right now.
Men's and women's tennis in the top half of the Big Ten. All of them doing very well, making progress, continuing towards that competitive excellence that we're all dreaming of and aiming for. So, of course, we celebrated with the wrestling program, finishing 5th in the nation the way they finished. So. A lot of great things happening in Husker athletics. Really proud of the hard work of our coaches and staff, and we got more work to do. We certainly haven't arrived, but pleased with our progress.
Nebraska 811 says go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. Back to the phones we go. Richard in Lincoln is up next with Trev Alberts. Good evening, Richard.
Good evening, Trev. We have the volleyball scrimmage coming up pretty quickly. And have we heard anything about Kayla Caffey and her eligibility for the 7th season?
Yeah, it's a great question, Richard, and I really appreciate your call. Yeah, we would love to have her as part of our team, and we're working hard with our compliance office, and I'm sure as soon as we can communicate relative to any updates with volleyball, we will do that.
Richard, appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call. Need to work a break in. We're late to the next break. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question. More with Trev coming up.
Rise above the sea of sameness and shop the Lincoln Corsair at Woodhouse Lincoln, the Omaha Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer. The Lincoln Corsair has seating for 5 and integrated technology features that deliver the functionality you need. With an expressive aesthetic and luxurious interior, the Lincoln Corsair is quiet luxury redefined. Visit us in-store off 144th and Giles Road at Woodhouse Place or online at woodhouselincoln.com.
A tradition of winning doesn't happen overnight. Like any team, you gotta be tough, play smart, and work hard. No one understands this more than Ford Motor Company. They built the best team in the game with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 45 years straight. The iconic Ford Bronco and the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Shop online at buyfordnow.com or visit your local Ford dealer to buy or custom build the perfect truck or SUV for you. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Momentum. It's building at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. With game-changing work in precision agriculture, nanoscience, and digital humanities. We're unlocking mysteries in brain research, solving the impossible with remote surgery using robots. And we're creating bold futures with world-leading research in early childhood education. We don't slow down, and we're not letting up. We are Nebraska.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Everett swings and hammers one to deep left center field. That is trouble, and that is gone. Griffin Everett gets a hold of one to left center, and the Huskers get the lead right back on the 2-run shot.
This Wednesday, Nebraska baseball is taking on North Dakota State at Haymarket Park with first pitch set for 6:35 p.m. Central. Pre-game coverage on the Huskers radio network begins at 6. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Be a good day for her to lift one down the line again. Lecker to the line, the 1-0. Neal swings and blasts this one. Deep right field. Connor going back. It's gone. A grand slam for Caitlin Neal. And the Huskers lead 7-0. Nebraska softball heads to Madison to take on Wisconsin Friday. Pre-game coverage begins at 4:50. First pitch at 5 on the Huskers radio network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
Huskers fans, it's time to plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Single game tickets are on sale now at huskers.com/Ireland. Start the 2022 season in the best way. Plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Buy your single game ticket today at huskers.com/Ireland.
Searching for your next vehicle? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles in stock and on our lots, with new trades arriving daily that you can explore on woodhouse.com. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away today confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Nothing goes better with Husker sports than Fairbury. Fairbury, premium quality hot dogs deliver the home game experience to your family and friends. The highest quality beef, pork, and natural spices give you the best tasting hot dog and your hometown favorite Big Red hot dog. Look for Fairbury hot dogs all year long at your local grocery store. Fairbury, the official hot dog of the Huskers and Nebraska fans everywhere.
At Great Western Bank, they are committed to your community. With all the local decisions and personal attention of a hometown community bank, they also have the convenience of a bigger bank. It's the best of both, so you can bank with your neighbors and your friends. Great Western Bank wishes all area teams a safe and successful season. Great Western Bank, member FDIC.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Our Sports on the Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Our Woodhouse hotline number, 402-413-2400. Let's get back to the phones for Trev Alberts out to Grand Island. Christopher, you're up next. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you guys doing?
Great, Christopher. How are you?
Good. Trev, I want to get your take on the season so far for the baseball and the softball team.
One more time, the seeding?
The seasons.
Seasons,
for
I'm
baseball,
sorry.
softball.
Well, thank you. We talked about that a little bit earlier, Christopher, but we'll go back and talk. Obviously, baseball is not having the season that anybody anticipated. I know Coach Bolt as well, and kind of went into the baseball season thinking that the strength of the team was going to be his pitching staff, and had a lot of injuries, and had a student athlete that is no longer part of the program that was a pitcher. And so what we thought was going to be the strength of the baseball team has now become one of our challenges. So always knew that hitting was going to be an area that the team was going to have to make progress in. And so this has been a real challenge for baseball, and are certainly had a little bit of adversity, but there's nobody I'm more confident in than Will Bolt to sort of sort through that adversity. On the other side, you know, you've got Rhonda Revelle and the softball program that's on an unprecedented roll, won 18 straight, leads the Big Ten at 13-0, and is just having one of those magical seasons where hitting has not been a problem. And if you want to watch some home runs, go watch softball. You know, good thing we have screens up on the scoreboard, because they're pounding that scoreboard with home runs. So, you know, sort of two different programs in different places right now, but led by two great leaders, and we'll be in good shape long term with baseball.
Christopher, thanks for the call. Text for you. Trev, this is Andy in Phoenix. Can I get a birthday shout out from you? I'm 38 today. So,
hey, Andy,
birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy 38th. Enjoy it, because once you hit 40, it's all over.
It goes downhill. Question for you. He says, could we do a Nebraska golf outing here in Phoenix? There's a lot of fans out here in this area.
You know, it's a great question, Andy, and it's something, you know, we're going to head down to Texas, a few of us, soon. We're going to go down and see some donors, and we need to do more of that. You know, our development team is putting together a plan, and I know we need to get out and see more people. And it isn't just always about asking for money. Certainly that's an important component of what we do, but it's getting out and thanking Husker Nation. It's making sure that all those folks, whether you live in Arizona, wherever they are, feel appreciated. So it's hard. We can't get everywhere, but certainly Arizona, Scottsdale, Phoenix area is a huge Husker component. So we need to do that, get out. I'm not much of a golfer, but I'll come out and see and watch you play golf, Andy.
Very good. Hey, Dorothy Lynch, home style, light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. Let's go back to the phones. Drew in Plattsmouth, you're up with Trev.
Oh, hey, Trev. I guess my question is more, our female teams generally do much better. They exceed the expectations. They're competing for championships, whereas our men's programs seems like they're always underwhelming, especially the major sports programs that have very poor seasons now for the past few years. I'm just wondering, what have you seen in the differences between the men's and the female programs, whether like culture or what? Because it seems like they get the same resources, they get the same support, yet our girls are doing so much better than the guys. So just wanted to get your perspective on that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Drew, and a great call. And I'll tell you, it's a great question. And I promise you, Drew, if we knew what the answer was, we would have cracked that a long time ago. You know, you mentioned the resources. Hey, there's in certain circumstances, some of the female programs don't have as much resources, and yet they're being successful. So I'm confident. You know, we're making progress. The one thing that's really important to me, though, is let's not take anything away from those programs, especially the women's programs that are being successful. It's obvious the women's programs are having more success than the men's right now. But sometimes we get fixated on, from the negative perspective of on the men not performing. I want to make sure that we celebrate the success of softball and women's basketball and bowling and all of those programs. So we've got a lot of work to do. There's no doubt about it. I'm confident in the leadership in some of our men's programs, but we talk about this a lot. We know what the expectations are. Those are programs that have the necessary resources, and quite frankly, there really aren't a lot of excuses as to why we can't be successful. So we're going to keep working at it. But if Drew, if you or anybody else has some ideas, I'm all ears, because we need to get the men's programs competing at the same level as our women's programs. One quick thought from you on men's basketball. Fred Hoiberg did make a hire. Adam Howard now a member of the staff. Your thoughts about what Fred's done with some changes since the end of the season? Yeah, it's the same thing as football, right? Sometimes those changes are really uncomfortable. And the people that have left us, including some players, are good people. And you wish them well. At the end of the day, though, when things aren't going the way they need to be, changes have to be made. And you have to have the courage to execute on change. And I was proud of what Fred did. And similarly to Scott and some of those changes, I see Fred having a similar new energy. I think he's challenging himself and his staff in different ways. I think he will see, some changes. And so, we're doing what we can and affecting the type of change as we can, and trying to create that sense of urgency for all of us. A sense of urgency for me, too. We're in the competition business. We talk about this all the time. We get defined by wins and losses. And so we need to activate all of our passion, all of our work ethic, and all of our unity of purpose to do what we can to bring the types of products to Husker Nation that they've become accustomed to. Drew, appreciate the phone call. Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. One more segment left with Nebraska's athletic director. We'll do that next.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Don't let the cold winter worry you. As Nebraska's leading supplier of propane, you can count on Sapp Brothers to keep your family warm this winter. You're like family, and your safety is the #1 priority of Sapp Brothers. When it comes to your propane needs, Sapp Brothers has you covered. Visit www.sappbros.net/petroleum to find your local Sapp Brothers propane expert. Celebrating 50 years of fueling America's heartland and welcoming guests, Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
We make car buying easy at Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley, Iowa, where we have a full lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs. See what Chevy has to offer and explore the 2022 Equinox. This small SUV is thoughtfully designed to put you at the center of attention. Plus, versatility and comfort meet to make a bold first impression. Show your style through every mile and craft your Chevy your way. Find new roads in-store or online anytime at WoodhouseGM.com.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center. It's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Trev Alberts with us for a couple more minutes. It's our monthly sit-down with the athletic director for the University of Nebraska. Let's go to Niobrara and Leroy. Leroy, good evening. Welcome to the program.
How are we doing, guys?
Great, Leroy. How are you tonight?
Hey, Trev, I'm going to build you up before I put you down, okay?
Okay, well, I'm used to that, so let's spend more time building up, though, if you don't mind.
No, it's not that bad. I'm definitely a fan of you and Coach Cook, but I have a burning thing inside of me, and some other people have the same question, and I was hoping that Coach Cook could be on for it, but you're it. So
okay.
How could you and Coach Cook let Jordan Larson leave this state?
Well, that's a good question. You know, it's Jordan was interested in getting back into coaching, and I know Coach Cook was. I won't speak for Coach Cook and what his plan was for his program, but I do think it's important. You know, and it isn't just with our volleyball players. It's other student athletes. You know. Players will get done playing here and get into different professions and might move off and work for different colleges. It doesn't mean that they're not a Husker. It doesn't mean that the Big Red won't always love them. But oftentimes, as part of their professional growth and career development, it's okay to go away. But as far as the specifics of what Coach Cook's vision was for the volleyball program, I'll let him speak for that. But, you know, we just... Listen, I had a chance to interact with Jordan a little bit at the Hall of Fame induction here, and what a special person. You know, we can talk about her volleyball. I mean, clearly she has to be the best volleyball player that's ever played the game. I mean, that sounds like a lot, but she has to be. I mean, I've never seen somebody accomplish what she has. And so I think what makes it hard, Leroy, is she's at Texas. Is that it? I mean, let's be honest. She's at Texas. That
double hurt.
Leroy, appreciate it.
When are we going to start the building up process, Leroy?
Yeah, it does. You've got a fun event coming up this week called the Night at the Lead. Tell people what that's about. You got about a minute left in the show.
Well, Night at the Lead is when we have an opportunity to really recognize and honor our student athletes, Greg. You know, not just for their athletic prowess, but it's their academic success. And it's a real way, I think, also of integration of athletics to our campus. I mean, it's a big-time deal. And I remember as a student athlete when I had the privilege of being named the Male Athlete of the Year, and Keith Zimmer reminds me it was kind of a thin talent pool that year, but it's just such an honor. You know, you're all dressed up. And it's not just about the sport you played. It's life skills, it's academics, and it's great to celebrate those student athletes.
That's coming up Sunday night.
That's right.
That'll be fun. You're going to be naming some award winners. We'll be able to publicize that out when that comes out. Also, you've announced an Invest program to reward your student athletes if they hit certain benchmarks academically. That's a nice commitment.
Yeah, it's again, the University of Nebraska, and one of the reasons I came here as a student athlete was I didn't find any school that did more for student athletes in terms of support and commitment and growth of young men and young women than the University of Nebraska. And so when this new legislation came forward, or frankly the NCAA lost in the Alston case, 5980, we decided to make a similar investment here.
Love it. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Fun hour, right?
It went fast.
Sure did. Thank you, Trev.
Thank you.
Will Bolt Baseball Show coming up on the other side.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Searching for a new to you car, truck, or SUV? Shop Woodhouse first. Over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles, all makes, all models, in stock and on the lot. Plus, confidence comes standard when you purchase a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse. With our multi-point inspection, transparent pricing, available add-on warranties, and financing options, purchasing a pre-owned vehicle has never been simpler. Experience the difference and drive away confident and road-ready in your new vehicle from Woodhouse.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Trafix Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go is mealtime made easy. Just order delicious meals online for convenient curbside pickup or have it delivered. Want breakfast? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Need lunch? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Doing dinner? Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go. Get pancakes, burgers, fried chicken, lasagna, high chai Asian dishes, sushi, pizza, and more. If you're craving it, Hy-Vee Mealtime to Go has it with curbside pickup or delivery. Order today at Hy-Vee.com/mealtime.
Live from the Huskers Radio Network, this is the Husker Baseball Show with head coach Will Bolt. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The 2-1 pitch. Anderson lifts one in the air to right. That's hit well. Backing up to Sapiti. He's to the wall, and it is gone. Max Anderson busts loose with a solo shot to right. Frank winds, deals. 2-2. Strike three. He struck him out swinging. And Frank is through 6-7 strikeouts for the right-hander. Now brings it home. Wimmers floats one in the air to left, and that is down for a base hit. Here comes Everett to score. Nick Wimmers delivers here in the bottom of the 7th. Chick swings and hammers one to right. Long way is Sardina. He's to the wall, and it is gone. Cam Chick, a 2-run homer into the party porch.
2-0 to count. Pitch to Chick. That's lifted in the air to right. Going back is Sapiti looking up, and it is gone. Chick with a home run.
Against the right-handed thrower from BYU. Stiles swings and lifts one in the air to right. Wind's going to help it. Back to the wall is Sapiti. He jumps, and it is gone. Stile uses the wind to help himself into the right field bullpen with a solo homer.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you, and welcome to our weekly chat with the Husker head coach, Will Bolt. He's here until the top of the hour. If you've got some comments, questions, 402-413-2400, the number to call us up, or fire off a text. That number also works as our text line. Tough weekend, man. 4 one-run games with BYU. I think you knew going into the series it would be a really highly competitive series. It was. Unfortunately, they made a few more plays than we did.
Yeah, they, it comes down to just, again, the margin's always very, very razor thin in college baseball. It usually comes down to about 5 plays a game. And, we got 4 one-run games, and we were on the wrong end of 3 of them. And, in position, sounds like what we talked about last week and the week before that and the week before that, just where you're in position to go win the game in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, and just finding a way to get the big hit, to like make the big play, make the routine play at times, and make the pitches to get off the field. We just haven't had enough of that. And like you said, I mean, BYU, tip your cap to them on the mound. They're by far the best pitching team we've seen this year, just as far as stuff goes, the ability to throw strikes. Kind of the knock on them has been their defense. The third baseman and shortstop played about as good a left-sided defense as you're going to see in college baseball on us all weekend, and they made some huge plays. I mean, second baseman turned a huge double play, and that's the difference. I mean, when winning time came around, they made the plays when they needed to. They had the dudes on the mound that made the pitches when they needed to, and they got the big hits, and they won the series.
You had to be proud of your pitchers, and I want to talk about the bookend guys. Cody Frank, what he did Thursday, and then what Jackson Brockett gave you on Saturday.
Yeah, especially not knowing what you're going to get from those guys coming in. I mean, Cody, having to skip his start the week before just because he, again, from a precautionary standpoint, just not sure how far he's going to get you in the game. And he came out, and you could just tell right away. I mean, the fastball had a little more life to it. The changeup was as good as we've seen it, and those 2 pitches looked the same coming out of the hand, and he had them off balance all night, and so he really gave us probably more than we expected coming in. And then Brockett, his first career start, just not real sure. I mean, it's a day where you're trying to salvage a series. To get back even in that series, in the 4-game series, and man, he gave us a great outing, especially knowing that McCarville was not available due to illness behind him, which made us even more thin. So him to get into the 6th inning was huge, and gave us a great shot.
When did he talk about recruiting him? And I know he was in Omaha, then he went to Georgia, but just take us back to that.
Yeah, he was one that we targeted immediately when we got here. He had come to A&M camp when I was an assistant there, and showed well, and a guy that when we go watch him pitch here, when we moved to Nebraska, had always just performed well, and he's just real competitive, and not a guy necessarily that's going to blow you away with plus stuff, but the fastball plays up, especially when he's getting that fastball to his glove side, and the changeup plays off that, and he just kind of changes speeds, and when he's in that mode of working fast and just not thinking too much. I mean, just like any other pitcher, I mean, he's in a much better spot, and he went and had a tremendous senior year down at Buford High School in Georgia, who's one of the top high school programs in the country. I mean, he had an amazing season. I think his ERA was probably under 1, so he didn't hardly get touched at all against some really good competition, and came in and had a nice fall. And, like I said maybe a couple times before, I mean, he kind of got thrust into some difficult situations out of the bullpen early. He's, just like most guys coming out of high school, he's been a starter his whole life. So just coming out of the pen was a learning experience for him. So maybe throwing more than pitching in those situations. But when we've given him opportunities to come in and clean innings, and then we're seeing him in a starting role, man, he's been really, really good.
What do you do with him moving forward? You've got some options now. All of a sudden, you have some options.
You do. I still think that he's a guy now that he's got a lot more confidence, that if you need him in the pen, he's been real tough on left-handed hitters. So he's a guy that gives some matchup problems to people. Again, I think we're just kind of in a spot where we need to go take each game, for what it is. And we haven't been good enough for anybody to solidify a role, on the staff and the lineup, really anywhere. So it's all hands on deck. So, we could get creative. And if we've got a TBA two of the days of the weekend, and we just throw our best guys at teams the first 2 days, and then kind of see what we've got, that's what we've got to do. But I think he's a guy now that could start on Sunday if you need him. Could come out of the pen the first 2 days, and if you don't use him, then certainly he could give you some length.
It was chilly when you started that game on Saturday, 11 a.m. start time, and here he comes out there and doesn't have the undershirt on, bare arms. I'm like, he's making a statement that he's tough, and he doesn't care if it's 35 degrees. He's going to go pitch and get after it.
Yeah, and again, he's got really good mound presence when he's in that mode, and he works fast. And I mean, a couple times
loved his tempo.
I think there's one time that he actually threw a pitch, and the batter wasn't ready because he was working so fast, and that's what you want. That's what you want to play behind.
Offensively, it's the same thing. Just can't get hits at the big moments, right? I mean, what are you seeing from the guys? What did you see from them this weekend?
Yeah, so, kind of now versus maybe a little bit earlier in the season, we are setting some innings up. We are hitting, because we're taking more walks and we're getting more hit by pitch, and, we're having more at-bats where a couple of guys in a row will string together a good one. So we're having more scoring opportunities than we had maybe early in the season. And it's just, I said this in the post game on Saturday, I believe, but it really, to hit at this level consistently as a team, you've got to be able to cover the plate. And when I say cover the plate, I just mean you got to be able to handle the outside pitches. And because that's where 70% of the pitches are going to be in college baseball, is on the other side of the plate. And in order to be a high average hitter at this level, as an individual hitter or as a team, you've got to be able to take what the pitcher gives you. And it doesn't mean you have to hit the ball the opposite field, but it means you have to take an aggressive swing that can be on the barrel on those pitches. So, because that's what pitchers tend to do in those situations. They're going to live on the safe side of the plate. They're going to throw off-speed pitches. And if you don't have a great approach, it's going to be difficult to get hits in those situations. And just doing some research today, as a team, when we swing at 0-0 pitches with runners in scoring position and put the ball in play, we're hitting 380.
Wow.
And in the first 2 pitches of the at-bats, if we're ready to hit and we're ready to put our best swing on the ball, we're hitting 375. So if we're ready to hit, we usually do a pretty good job, but too many times we get picked on, and you get behind in the count with 2 strikes, and then life becomes awfully tough. So we're just going to continue to preach, being aggressive. And if we make mistakes being aggressive, we can live with that. But it's demoralizing when you take strike 3 in those situations. And it certainly gives a ton of momentum to the other dugout when you just have those situations and you just go passive.
It does seem like a lot of times in those situations, you're taking strike 1, then you're fouling strike 2 off, and immediately it's 0-2, and the pitcher's got you in a hole. He's got his foot on your neck at that point in time.
Yeah, I mean, I would take my odds as a 380 hitter, if you're going to swing at the first pitch. And you see that. I mean, we did that as a really good offense last year. We're just more ready to hit, more committed to an approach of being aggressive at the plate. And, any good team I've ever been a part of, or you just watch Rutgers offense, or you watch some of these really good offenses that we faced this year, they get in those spots, they're not waiting around. And it doesn't have to always be perfect. You don't have to hit the ball 110 miles an hour and get the perfect swing off. You just got to be committed to what you're doing. And when you do that, you tend to find some holes, and you tend to use the big part of the yard, and that's where the RBIs live.
Since our last show with you, you did play Creighton. You got through 3 innings, and then Mother Nature decided to have a little thunderstorm, which we need the rain, by the way, but that game got stopped. Any chance of finishing that game? Where does that stand?
Yeah, the way we left it is we would love to try to make that game up during Creighton's finals week. This year there was the scheduling conflict that didn't allow us to play the 3rd game with Creighton is because our finals weeks don't match up for the first time in infinity. I don't know. I think for the first time ever. So they're going to try to get permission to just finish this game during the finals weekend, just because we had the long weekend, the 4 games, and then Easter. I haven't heard anything about it since then, but that's the plan. We'd love to be able to make that game up, I think, the first week of May.
Complete game or pick it up in the 4th inning?
No, we'd pick it up. It'd be a halted game, so we'd pick it up in the 4th inning with us up 1-0.
Very good. Hey, Dorothy Lynch, homestyle light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. Huskers coming off of a homestand. You have one more game left in the homestand. North Dakota State will be here on Wednesday night before you jump back on the road to go play Indiana over the weekend in Bloomington. I'm sure you probably had a day off since Saturday to now. What have you talked to the team about since the end of the game on Saturday?
Well, again, when it comes down to winning time in these games, where, again, like I said, I mean, we've been in these games and been in these situations, and we kind of are who we are in terms of like the type of game that we're going to play typically. Is when you don't score a ton of runs, your margin for error is pretty small. So we're going to be in a lot of those tight games where it's going to come down to maybe a single play. It's going to come down to who plays the best defense and who limits the free bases in the late innings. And I don't feel like we've played the game in those situations and just let it rip, and just gone out and said, you know what, if we go down, we're going to go down in flames. I think we've gotten a little passive, at the plate. And like I said, you kind of see us play catch in those situations, and it's not from a lack of caring or trying, but it's a lack of probably just being in the moment, of just letting it fly. And so that's been the message, honestly, for the entire year. And I think until we embrace that and just say, you know what, that we're going to be in these tight situations, and what's the worst thing that can happen? Like it's just got to play free and to play loose and to play. Play to win. Those are things that we talk about all the time, and we practice, and it's just a matter of going and doing it.
402-413-2400, the number to dot us up with a comment or question. Mark in Omaha with a text for you, Coach. Am I wrong in saying too many 2-strike swings are too long and not quick?
No, you're not wrong. I would say that, just kind of in general, that's something that's plagued us a little bit, is just, swings a little bit too long, and trying to make those adjustments with 2 strikes to put the ball in play. Sometimes it becomes difficult for guys that to make adjustments within at-bats, and that's something that we're going to continue to work on. But no, you're not wrong to say that. I would prefer that we go down swinging, though, as opposed to looking, especially when we have a chance to drive runs in.
Yeah. You talked about the third baseman for BYU. His fielding percentage coming into the series was .950, which isn't very good. He looked like a Gold Glover, the plays he made.
He was Brooks Robinson over there at third base. I mean, it was we've seen that a lot, honestly, this year, where we've had some amazing plays made on us in some crucial situations, and it's a much better feeling than when you're on the other side of that, when you're the ones making the plays. And we had a season like that last year, and then we got some games left this year to flip the script and become that team.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. I want to ask you about Bryce. It just seems like he's fighting it right now, and it may be even taking the struggles of the plate with him out onto the field, which is a bad thing. You want to try to separate those two parts of the game. What are you seeing from Bryce?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's certainly a much better player than what he's shown this year, and just the expectations of coming in and being a guy that has a little bit of, just the expectations of having a good year last year and expecting to take the next step. And then, last year he's part of a very veteran team, him and Max. So they're able to kind of just fall in line. And now, being asked to put more on his plate, playing shortstop and, hitting at the top of the order, and just a lot of things that, can be a little bit mentally taxing to a young player. And I just would like to see his athletic ability take over and shut his brain off, so to speak, and just go get in compete mode. And I think when he does that, when he's able to kind of get in that mode, I think that's why you've seen him throughout his young career. He's gotten some big hits for us, in some clutch situations, because you just you get in that mode of just competing there, and you're not thinking too much. And so, we moved him to second base this weekend, for a couple of games because, in a sample size, he's been able to turn his brain off a little bit better playing second, and the bat's been better for him in that case. So we're going to continue to bounce him around. I don't think like I said, we don't have it. There's nobody that's got a spot solidified at this point. So we're going to have mix and match at the shortstop and second base, and he's a guy that just needs to go out and just get in compete mode and not think.
I thought it was an encouraging day Saturday for Layton. Ended up going 2 for 2. I think he drew a couple walks. I think he was on base every time that he came up. You had to like that. You need Layton to be the Layton we saw a couple years ago.
Yeah, and he's a guy that he can bring that to the lineup, whether he's getting hits or not. Like when he's in that mode, he brings a certain toughness level to the lineup that we've been searching for, and that's really all I ask of him when I put him in the lineup. I said, look, man, I don't want you to go up there and think you've got to go get 2 or 3 hits to get your name in the lineup again. I just want you to go out there and like, talking about like with Bryce, like just go out there and compete. Just go out there and just give the team good at-bats, competitive at-bats, and just find a way to get it done and do whatever it takes. And I saw him do that. I think he wore a couple of pitches on the inner half of the plate. Yeah. He had a double, he got a rally started. Just kind of sparked us, and when he's in that mode, he can bring that to the table. And he's a junior, so he's been around the block, and we need guys like him to be more in that mode. And he's certainly capable of doing it. Love a lot of the things that he brings to the table, and he cares an awful lot about his teammates. So he's a guy I would love to see turn the corner for us.
Finally saw a Jack-style home run. Been waiting for that. Jack's been putting some good swings on the ball. Took a couple to deep center, but he finally got one in the bullpen.
He did, yeah, and it was an 0-0 pitch. And so he was ready to hit and on time to the fastball, and it was a good fastball. It was a guy that was running up there at 91, 94. So, need more of that from him. Just turning that lineup over, and if the pitcher makes a mistake, he's got to make him pay.
Yeah. 402-413-2400. That's the number to dial us up on our Sports Night hotline. Brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy online at woodhouse.com. A lot more with the coach coming up.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Pivot control has never been easier. T&L Irrigation now offers a new control panel called Precision Point Touch. It's a full-color 7-inch graphic touchscreen that's easy to use and gives you lots of great tools to make your irrigation faster and more efficient. Set up your pivots the way you want. You can update your older controls to the new Precision Point control panel too. Call your local T&L dealer or visit TLIRR.com. T&L Irrigation, like no other.
It's more than a Lincoln, it's your Lincoln. Custom order your next luxury SUV with Woodhouse Lincoln today. Choose from the full range of Lincoln models and curate every detail to your deepest desires. From exterior color down to each accessory, our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff will guide you to your next vehicle. Begin your custom order journey online at woodhouselincoln.com or in-store off 144th and Giles Road.
The Nebraska FFA is growing leaders
and building communities.
Together, we are strengthening agriculture.
The Nebraska FFA Foundation believes in our future leaders and the communities they serve. We believe in the future of agriculture.
Join us in the I Believe in the Future of Ag campaign. Learn more at neffafoundation.org. This message is brought to you by Bayer, Science for a Better Life, and DeKalb.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Be a good day for her to lift one down the line again. Lecker to the line, the 1-0. Neal swings and blasts this one. Deep right field. Connor going back. It's gone. A grand slam for Caitlin Neal. And the Huskers lead 7-0. Nebraska softball heads to Madison to take on Wisconsin Friday. Pre-game coverage begins at 4:50. First pitch at 5 on the Huskers radio network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
A tradition of winning doesn't happen overnight. Like any team, you got to be tough, play smart, and work hard. No one understands this more than Ford Motor Company. They built the best team in the game with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 45 years straight, the iconic Ford Bronco, and the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Shop online at buyfordnow.com or visit your local Ford dealer to buy or custom build the perfect truck or SUV for you. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today. The Huskers provide the best on the field, and so does Kubota. The new Kubota L60 Limited Edition Series provides the best package for affordability, quality, and comfort, like the deluxe Grand L factory-installed cab or spacious open operator station. Maximize performance with Kubota's best-in-class HST Plus transmission and many other features of the L60 LE Series. Experience the Kubota difference. Visit nebraska-kubotadealers.com or see Sandberg Implement in Gering or Dinkel Implement in Norfolk.
There's nothing better than the smoky aroma of grilled beef at the ballpark. This is Anne Marie with the Nebraska Beef Council reminding you to pick up a package of steaks or burgers for your next tailgate party. Whether you're setting up in the parking lot or cheering from home, nutritious beef is a home run choice when cheering on the Huskers. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for delicious beef recipes, grilling tips, and tailgate inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. It's our baseball show for the week. The head coach Will Bolt with us until the top of the hour. If you want to be a part of the program, 402-413-2400. A text question from Bob in Lincoln for you, Will. It says, on called third strikes, when we're batting, it seems like it's mostly on the outside corner. It appears our batters are hesitant to go the opposite way.
You're
accurate.
Yeah, very. Just what I touched on in the last segment. I mean, it's to be a hitter in at this level, you gotta be willing, eager to cover the plate, and it doesn't always mean you have to hit the ball the opposite field, but it means that you've got to have your bat in the zone long enough to be able to cover that pitch on the outside part of the plate, and it's absolutely inexcusable to take strike three on the outside part of the plate, because really that's the main part that you're trying to cover is the outside part of the plate. If a pitcher paints an inside fastball, it's sometimes you can tip your cap if they just absolutely execute a perfectly located fastball in, but to take a pitch out over the plate with two strikes is just definitely not conducive to good hitting.
Another text, this is from Gary in Columbus. I know we're struggling with the plate right now. Talk about your bunt philosophy when you get runners on base.
Well, you saw our 5-hole hitter laid 2 sack bunts down this weekend, especially when you're facing premium pitching. You know that you're not going to necessarily string together a lot of hits. So just putting some bunts down. I mean, you saw Bryce Matthews lay down a couple bunts this weekend. Wimmers laid down a couple of bunts. Style got a squeeze bunt down. Something we're doing a little bit more of. I think
that was fun.
Coming into the season, we really expected to be a team that was going to hit more extra base hits, and you're starting to see a little bit more of that just now that Chick's gotten himself going a little bit, and Max has hit a couple of home runs and some of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, we're going to have to continue to play some more small ball just to move some runners around and put some pressure on the defense.
You moved Cam to the leadoff spot. How'd you feel like that went?
Well, he's gotten on base a lot, and he's got to hit a couple of home runs. Hit that big home run to get us back in the game on Friday, the 9-inning game, and then the leadoff home run on Saturday kind of got us going. So he's done a nice job. I think in other situations I'd probably like to hit him in a different spot, but we just haven't had. We've kind of had a revolving door at that leadoff spot, and he's got the highest on base percentage on the team. So it may not always be perfect with Cam, but I'd say for the last 20 games or so, he's given us some really good at bats and hit some home runs and been on the barrel a lot.
The squeeze play was fun. It's a risky, probably as a coach, you hold your breath.
Yeah.
If you're going to execute that, and Jack got it down.
He did, and we talked about it before this. They had a mound visit, and we talked about it, and we said, look, the infield's in here, so theoretically your chances to get a hit skyrocket in those situations. But we told Jack, like, hey, we're going to give you the first pitch. The first pitch is yours. And then after that, if we're gonna squeeze on the second pitch, and so he took a first pitch strike, and so the next pitch he laid down a beautiful bunt. I'm certainly shocked. The pitcher, and I literally just watched the replay today. How fast he got off the mound on a perfect bunt down the third base line and threw a strike to. There was some confusion over at first base, too, as to who was covering, and the pitcher just came out and threw an absolute dart. That's usually one of those plays where a left-handed pitcher's got to spin and throw, and he throws it down the first base line, and you score two. And but in that situation, he made a perfect throw and got Jack out by less than half a step.
Well, the Huskers, you honored Jackie Robinson on Friday. You were wearing batting practice number 42. Sean Buchanan came down and threw out the first pitch. That was cool to see him back.
Sean is his story is awesome. He was not only an amazing baseball player here, but went on and had a really good professional career, and now has been in the company that he has been very successful, and he's been more than generous to the athletic department, and just an amazing family. Great to see him. It was just great to have him out there. Just a positive guy. Always just got a smile on his face, and heck of a player here. And so for him to throw out the first pitch and just for us to be able to honor number 42 and everything that Jackie Robinson has meant, you know, just breaking barriers, not just for baseball, but just breaking down barriers, you know, just the things that he had to go through to just get out and play a baseball game. You know, there's a lot to be learned from a guy like him.
Speaking of Husker alum, an announcement today from Tony Watson that he has officially decided to retire. He wanted to thank teammates, peers, coaches, support staff, thank the organizations of Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and then the Angels and their fans. He said he got to live out a childhood dream. Your remembrances of Tony Watson, who, by the way, is Major League Baseball's career leader in holds with 246. How about that?
Yeah, Tony had an amazing career. And when I was the volunteer coach here in 2005, he was a freshman on that 2005 World Series team that won 57 games and won the one and only game in Omaha at the College World Series. And Rob Childress actually recruited him out of Dallas Center Grimes High School, I believe is where he's from, just outside of Des Moines, there in Iowa. And I mean, to tell you how loaded our pitching staff was in 2005, we had a future big leaguer as a freshman who's a big, giant left-handed pitcher with a fastball above 90, who back then, you know, not everybody threw 90 back then. He was a bullpen arm for us. He was a guy that came out of the pen and occasionally started on Tuesdays, but we were so loaded on the mound that year that a guy that was a future big leaguer couldn't even crack the rotation on that team.
Crazy. Does he remind you some of Bummer, who's still pitching with the White Sox?
Yeah, you know, I think Bummer was probably a little bit more of a classic. Like when you saw him in college, you're like, that guy could go get left-handed hitters in the big leagues out right now just because it's a little bit of the lower slot. And Tony kind of gravitated towards that as his career went on. But amazing young man, gotten to know him through the years. Just he'd coming back for some events, and he lost his mom when he was in college to malignant melanoma, and so he had to overcome a lot, you know, as a young man, and see him persevere and put in all the hard work and have an unbelievable career in Major League Baseball. Tip your cap to him.
11 seasons. Well, time now for our Nebraska Lottery Husker Baseball Weekly Trivia Contest, brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery. Each weekly winner receives $100 in scratch tickets from the Nebraska Lottery. Please, only one winner per household per season. So get ready. Our text number, 402-413-2400 with your answer. Tony Watson is tied for 5th in Husker history for the most wins in one season. He had 10. That was in that 2006 season. Who has the record for the most wins in a season in Nebraska history? If you have the answer, text us 402-413-2400. We'll tell you who the winner is on the other side. Back with more with the coach coming up.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Everett swings and hammers one to deep left center field. That is trouble, and that is gone. Griffin Everett gets a hold of one to left center, and the Huskers get the lead right back on the 2-run shot.
This Wednesday, Nebraska baseball is taking on North Dakota State at Haymarket Park with first pitch set for 6:35 p.m. Central. Pre-game coverage on the Huskers radio network begins at 6. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today we're tackling the issue of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. GMOs may sound scary, but they're actually benefiting our environment and consumers. That's because GMO crops help solve specific problems like insects, food waste, and droughts. By selecting good traits from one plant or organism and adding them to another, farmers are safely using science to produce high-quality foods better than ever before. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Everett swings and hammers one to deep left center field. That is trouble, and that is gone. Griffin Everett gets a hold of one to left center, and the Huskers get the lead right back on the 2-run shot.
This Wednesday, Nebraska baseball is taking on North Dakota State at Haymarket Park with first pitch set for 6:35 p.m. Central. Pre-game coverage on the Huskers radio network begins at 6. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Valley 365 is here, and the time is now to take your farming technology full circle. Valley 365 is the ultimate command center, the new single sign-on platform that brings together our tried and true technology and streamlines your entire operation. Combining the best features of AgSense, Valley Scheduling, Valley VRI, and Valley Insights, Valley 365 is the next-level solution for connected crop management. Leverage your data, make the most of your time, and own your tomorrow. Contact your Valley dealer today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today's topic, animal agriculture. There's been a lot of talk suggesting that giving up meat is good for the environment. However, livestock emissions only account for less than 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, by reducing meat in your diet, you're missing out on all sorts of beneficial nutrients like protein, iron, and zinc. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Monday nights are now famous for something else. Powerball. That's right, Powerball is adding Monday nights to the lineup so you have more days to play. Plus, with a starting jackpot in the millions, you don't want to pass up this chance to score a bundle of money. Get pumped for Powerball with drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Be a good day for her to lift one down the line again. Lecker to the line, the 1-0. Neal swings and blasts this one. Deep right field. Connor going back. It's gone. A grand slam for Caitlin Neal. And the Huskers lead 7-0. Nebraska softball heads to Madison to take on Wisconsin Friday. Pre-game coverage begins at 4:50. First pitch at 5 on the Huskers radio network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
So, this date was really fun.
Yeah, thanks for dinner.
For sure. For sure. Not really sure why I'm playing with my keys. I literally took an Uber here.
Oh, me too.
Wow.
Can I
Wanna
ride
grab
you
a beer?
around?
Start the night out right, because you can't drive drunk if you don't drive there. Decide to ride. This message is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber. Copyright 2022, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
They say if you listen hard enough, you can hear the corn grow. It's true. When you're out in the field, you understand its challenges and what it needs to thrive. Channel Seedsmen bring insights from the field to our team of Bayer plant breeders. Their knowledge inspires our product development. From your best ground to your most challenging conditions, our products are designed to perform in your fields. Visit channellistens.com to see our latest innovations. Always read and follow IRM where applicable, grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Welcome back to our Nebraska baseball show for the week. The head coach with us until the top of the hour. If you want to be a part of the program, 402-413-2400. Our trivia question brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery. Tony Watson tied for 5th in Husker history for most wins in one season with 10. Did that in 2006. Who has the record? We had a lot of great guesses. Brett Jensen would be more of a closer. Johnny Dorn, Jabba Chamberlain, but a lot of you got this right, including Derek in Omaha, who was the first one to come in with Shane Comine. Say it again to me.
Comine.
I always say Comine.
I know.
You say
Yeah, Comine. He was my roommate for 3 years.
So you should have
so,
it.
Yeah, we were because it's one of those names that for whatever reason it's difficult to remember how to say it. It's like you can talk about it, and then once you say it, it just may sound a little funny. But Komine, that's the way that he always told me that he's pronounced it. Komine.
He had 14 wins, Coach, in 2001. He was special.
However you want to pronounce it, it's pronounced winner. That's what he was.
Terrific pitcher, and he was really. You guys leaned on him a lot. He had to throw a lot, and you probably felt like every time he had the ball, you were going to win.
20-0 at home in his career.
Goodness.
Yeah, 20-0 at home in his career. So
not a big guy at all.
No, probably 5'8". He was probably 5'8", 150 pounds coming out of high school, and probably about 175 pounds by the time he was finished. But man, what a competitor! A guy as a freshman that threw sometimes out of the pen on Friday and then would start on Sunday, and then was a Friday night starter for 3 years after that. And man, what can you say? I mean, the amount of punch outs that he racked up. I mean, he had like 5 or 6 different pitches, and he just had that intimidation factor with teams where when he's on the mound, they didn't feel like they had a chance to win, and we felt like we were going to win every time. And when you can chalk up an automatic win on Friday, you win a lot of series because all you got to do is find a way to win one more, and we did a lot of that.
Derek, congratulations. Thanks for everybody for playing along with us there. What was his best pitch? You said he threw 4 or 5 different pitches. What was his best pitch, do you think?
I think his best pitch was his fastball because he had amazing command of it, and he was a guy that, in spite of not being a tall guy, he had such an angle on his fastball that it had so much life at the top of the zone, and the pitch down looked like it was going to be a ball, and it just stayed at the knees. And he's probably a guy that had really high spin on the fastball before we knew that there was such a thing. So just the fastball had such good carry, and he hid the ball well, and he brought it from just such an extreme angle over the top that his overhand curveball played up. He had the split finger fastball that he threw, mixed in a slider. I mean, it was, but I think it all played off because the fastball was so good and the command of the fastball was so good.
You talked earlier about the velo that you saw this weekend from BYU. Ben and I were impressed that not only did the guys throw hard, but then a lot of them, they were getting their secondary pitches over, which makes it really hard for hitters.
Yeah, and that's what you see with the better teams. You've got guys that throw hard, but they can hit their spots, and they can throw the secondary stuff, where they want it, for a strike, and then also for chase late in the count. And I was incredibly impressed with BYU's staff. I mean, they had all their starters were in the low 90s, and they had 3 or 4 bullpen arms that we saw that were up to 95, and then a couple of left-handers that were 90, 92 with good breaking balls. Very, very impressive pitching staff for them.
Sure was, and I think you're right. I think it's probably the best group of arms we've seen all year long. All right, North Dakota State, a Summit League team. It's just won a series over the weekend over Omaha. We know Omaha's a good quality team. This will be a challenge on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean they're all going to be a challenge, and they got a good team, and I think they had to flip their series. They were supposed to play at home, and they ended up playing at Omaha and didn't miss a beat, and they're having a nice season. So again, it's going to be a good challenge for us. Hopefully, we can get Dawson McCarville back from illness, and he's lost a little bit of weight with what he's kind of gone through the last couple of days, but hopefully we can get him back on the horse and get us off to a good start.
I want to take you back to Thursday night because I know that's Cody. You didn't have Cody Frank the week before against Rutgers, so I knew you wanted to be careful with him in the game Thursday. Talked to both you and Coach Christie before the game. You were hoping 2 or 3 innings. He took that thing into the 7th.
Yeah. Yeah, you just didn't know what to expect because he just there was no injuries, so to speak, but he just felt a little off. So again, with what we've dealt with many of our high leverage pitchers, we're going to be very careful with him. So felt good in his preparation going into the start, and then with him going out there in that first inning, you kind of see some 91s on the board, and the finish with the fastball was really good, and the finish of the changeup was really good. And Griff just kept coming in each inning going, his stuff's good, like he's really good, leave him in, like he looks great. And you just kept asking Cody, like, hey, how do you feel? He's like, I feel perfectly fine, I feel like normal. So and I guess he had a no-hitter going into the,
He did.
which really didn't play in our decision. I mean, if he was gassed in the 4th inning and had a no-hitter, we take him out. You know, that didn't really play into the decision at all. But man, for him to just come out and do what he did and take a no-hitter into the 7th inning was truly remarkable, and it's indicative of what he's capable of, just in terms of when he gets on a roll and can stay in the windup. He works fast, and he just attacks the middle of the plate and just lets his life work on his fastball, changeup, and I think he only threw a handful of sliders, and they have a bunch of right-handed hitters, and you know, usually if you go slider to rights if you're a right-handed pitcher and changeup to lefts, but he had the changeup going, and the fastball had good life to it too.
It's a slider change, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's what he calls that thing?
He was throwing the actual just true changeup the other night. So slider change, maybe it just breaks in different ways. This one was just, you know, falling off the table, and it was more of a true changeup.
Nebraska 811 says go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. Phone lines are open, 402-413-2400. That also doubles up as our text line. We're back with our final segment with the coach next.
A tradition of winning doesn't happen overnight. Like any team, you got to be tough, play smart, and work hard. No one understands this more than Ford Motor Company. They built the best team in the game with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 45 years straight. The iconic Ford Bronco and the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Shop online at buyfordnow.com or visit your local Ford dealer to buy or custom build the perfect truck or SUV for you. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Attention anyone standing near a mud puddle. Trucks and Bucks is back, so take cover. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch game is roaring down the road again. And this year we're giving away 8 blue 2022 Ford F-150 XLT Super Crew Flex Fuel trucks. So buy a $2 Trucks and Bucks ticket today. You could win a new Ford F-150 and make a real splash in your neighborhood. Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help us with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. J.D. Power ranked Shelter Insurance #1 in customer satisfaction among auto insurers in the Central Region and #1 in price.
See agents Jeff Bond, Reed Duvall, or Richard Deers in Lincoln for a free insurance review.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. The head coach with us for a couple more minutes as we get ready to wrap up the hour. Huskers at home Wednesday night and then at Indiana over the weekend against the Hoosiers, a team that's had a tough start. They've scuffled a little bit too. They had a very much a veteran team. They had some tremendous arms a year ago. That might have been one of the best pitching staffs we saw all last year.
Yeah, they had a big leaguer for sure going on the weekends, a right-hander last year, and had some really good arms. So a lot of teams had a lot of arms to replace this year in the league. You know, that COVID year brought some guys back that maybe you wouldn't normally expect, but yeah, they're you know, again, they're always going to be a tough team to beat in their home ballpark.
Jared, your sports information director, was just texting me during the break, said the Huskers have played in 12 one-run games so far this year. That's over a third, and we're 4-8 in those. That certainly makes a difference in your overall record. Those close games, and that's what you were saying earlier, we're probably going to have a lot more of those. Yeah, I mean, timely hitting and solid relief pitching makes the belief of a team, you know, it just the belief permeates when you've got those two things going. And, you know, like we talked about, we haven't had a lot of the timely hitting, although we have had some clutch moments where we've had some walk-off wins. Yeah, I mean, it's where a guy like Spencer Schwellenbach, you know, it covers up a lot at the back end of games where you can hand the ball over to a guy like that, and those one-run games flip on your side of it. And, you know, maybe if Colby Gomez was pitching for us, or Jake Buns, or Ethan Bradford, or you know, some of these other high-leverage guys that we were depending on, maybe the record's a little bit different, but it's not, and they're not coming back anytime soon. So we're going to have some guys step up and get the job done in those situations. How's recruiting going? How do you feel like you're sitting, and I know you announced a class back in November, so kind of what next year's team looks like is pretty much baked in. There may be still a few changes in there, but how do you feel like that's going?
It's going well. I mean, I think just sticking with what you know, this first class that we had here was a little bit bigger from the high school standpoint, especially than what we'll have moving forward. And probably just in numbers in general, but going well. I mean, we're still identifying the guys and just about the success rate of the guys that commit that come to campus is really, really high. So got a lot of things, you know, going now as far as this Go Big project here is going to, you know, it's a big deal, you know, for guys coming in and saying, man, everything that we see on this trip is going to be brand new and bigger, and, you know, everything else in 2023, wow, sign me up. And you know, just obviously the success that we had last year, and you know, hopefully we can finish strong this year. But you know, just it's going well. I mean, the guys that we get on campus, that, you know, we show off what we have, and the support staff that we have, the success rate is really, really high for the guys that we've targeted to say yes.
How good's the level of play right now currently at the high school level in this state? Is it pretty good? Yeah, it's good. I mean, it gets better and better every year, and you know, it's the coaching in the state, it's the training in the state that's gotten better, just in terms of more facilities being open, so you can hit year-round and train year-round and those type of things, and you know, playing more baseball in the summer. And it's just, yeah, I mean, I think it's gotten better and better, and we're going to continue to target the guys that are in state that we feel like give us a great chance to win. How important to your program are your camps that you put on in the summer, and I think you even do some in the fall? Is that big to get eyes on guys? It is, and we have a Stars of Tomorrow camp it's in August that we've signed 3 or 4 guys a year from, and then there's another prospect camp that we have in January where, you know, we can lay eyes on guys, and it's almost like if they get to a day in the life of a Husker baseball player where they get to kind of see the facilities and use the facilities and those type of things. So yeah, they're big. It's for us to maybe take a final look at a guy, or maybe you get a first look at a guy, and then you go watch him play in a game. And you know, we've had a lot of success with some really good players that have come to those camps. Very good. All right, I know it's not been a great stretch, but hang in there. There's still plenty of season left to go. Let's go beat the Bison on Wednesday. Yep, no doubt. We're going to keep working hard, and you know, keep getting ourselves a chance to win, and you know, hopefully when those moments come, we're gonna break through and get hot. Very good. There he is, head coach Will Bolt with us tonight. Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. Huskers against the Bison on Wednesday night. Have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sapp Brothers. For 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Make it custom, make it yours. Right now at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Blair, you can get up to $2,500 off MSRP when you place a custom 2022 Ram 2500 or 3500 order during Ram Truck Month. Get $1,000 off MSRP when you custom order. Plus, with a qualifying trade-in, get an additional $1,000 off. Business owners get an additional $500 off. Shop Ram Truck Month online at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to the seventh inning stretch, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. Call or visit SOSHVAC.com today.
SOS to the rescue.